All right, class, this is a flint striker, F-L-I-N-T striker, S-T-R-I-K-E-R. It's used to, of course, light like something like a piece of equipment like a Bunsen burner. You may see welders like blow torches and stuff like that. If you look hard enough, you can kind of see some sparks coming out of there, and that's what would actually do that. But this is a flint striker and a vital piece of equipment that we use in the lab. Next, we have something called a ring stand. Of course, you would put something on, you put the Bunsen burner, you wanted to heat something up, just like a typical chemistry stick. Ring, R-I-N-G. This comes off, you could actually set a piece of glass on there with a Bunsen burner underneath. And that would set up a contraption like this. There's also a little piece that attaches here that'll actually hold that, a holder. And, or you could do something like this if it was big enough. So those are what you call ring stands. This piece of equipment here, you can see the shape of it. It's got a specific shape. You learn these glasses by shape. This is called a Erlenmeyer flask, E-R-Y-N-M-E-Y-E-R, Erlenmeyer flask. It's a specific type of glass, also to put corks in. If you wanted to put a cork in and run glass tubing through it. And you can see the shape of it. It's a flask shape, so it's got a wider bottom and a narrow opening. Which takes us to our next feature, which does not. It's the same diameter throughout, and these are both just two examples. There's one's bigger than the other. Kind of like people, right? Dr. Seuss said, people are people no matter how small. Beakers are beakers no matter how big or small. It's the shape that gives them that. So that is what you call a beaker. Next piece of equipment. Again, two different sizes, but the same piece of equipment. They notice they have numbers running up and down. As you go up, the numbers increase, used to measure out liquids. Okay, specifically in chemistry lab. And these are called graduated cylinders. G-R-A-D-U-A-T-E-D. Graduated, like you graduated high school. Next piece of equipment I've already mentioned before. It's called a Bunsen burner. Again, you would take one side and connect it to the gas hosing. Take the flint striker, turn the gas on, strike it. But this is what we use to produce fire, so we can heat solutions in a chemistry lab. Something you may be more familiar with from home. You may use these in, you're working on your car or whatever. Kobe, what would you call these? What do you use it for?
Fun.
There you go. Yep, just like your favorite cake at the fair, right? Funnel, but I don't know what that has to do with anything with a funnel. Maybe they use a funnel to cook a funnel cake. This piece of equipment used more in biology to grow stuff in an incubator, but we do use those in chemistry lab to do certain reactions or, to make different observations. This is called a Petri disk. P-E-T-R-I, disc as in D-I-S-K. I've heard it called Petri dish, D-I, like a dish you put in the sink, or D-I-S-H. I accept either one, but Petri disc because it is a disc shape. Biology major, microbiology, they put this gel soy agar in there and grow bacteria on these things. Well, I also use them for chemistry purpose too, just to make observations of reactions, small reactions. All right, so we got this thing called, what do you use this at home for, Kobe?
Tongs.
Well, I mean, what would you use it for cooking, right? But you're right, what did you call it?
Tongs.
Tongs, right? You got two different sizes, right? You got two different types. You could use this to grab stuff, like this without picking up. That's actually a little too small maybe to pick this one up. But you could actually do that, right? move it, and if this is actually too big for that, but you could use it, apply a little pressure, pour, do what you need to move objects, place it on the burner or take it off the ring stand, and we ain't gonna drop it like that. We'll put it down there carefully, especially hot objects. Again, same thing here. You gotta put a little pressure. You could actually grab the flask.
Just that just went right back down, so I'll let you know when it comes up.
So we're, again, handling hot objects. Tongs, different sizes and types, but tongs, T-O-N-G-S. All right, next piece of item on the lab equipment. This is called a test tube. All right, you've seen these before? So that brings me to my next. Do ops reactions and stuff like that in there, create solutions. So Kobe, kind of looks like a tong, don't it? Yeah. But this is spring reverse loaded, so we're gonna sit here and attach it to that. Now I could use it, I'm not touching it, keeping it off. So this is a test tube, right? So what would you call this thing?
Test tongs.
Test tube, what's it doing to the test tube?
Holder.
Very good, test tube holder. Test tube holder on the test tube. Everybody's favorite piece of equipment to get the solids to actually you could mix and actually get solid reactants for a chemical reaction. This would be what you call a scupula. Same thing. But you can use either side to actually get a solid reactant or a chemical to put into a thing. I use this quite a bit for the powders. Okay, so as I'm measuring out, I use this as a kind of like a spoon, right? You see some with a spoon on the side. Those are a little bit different, but these are just your standard scupula. A scupula is spelled S-C-O-O-P-U-L-A, scupula. We have this dropper. Y'all know these at home as droppers, right? Take something, put it in, food color, whatever. Specifically in chemistry, we call these things pipettes. Pipettes, P-I-P-E-T-T-E, pipettes. This is just a plastic pipette. And they have pipettes that have dials on the ends that you can actually put exactly how much liquid you use this to draw liquid reactants or solutions, to transfer them from one place to the other. The pipettes in college actually have a dial. You could say 1 milliliter, and you would just hit the button and it would get exactly 1 milliliter of that liquid. That's really nice. And here we don't have those, so we would just take the droppers and take a graduated cylinder and measure out exactly what we need here, right? But you can see those expensive ones that you use in college, they would actually save you a lot of time out of the measuring. It does the measuring in the pipette itself, okay? But this is your standard, this is just a little pipette, all right? Chemistry, we call them pipette. If you put dropper, I'm okay. But if you ever seen a real pipette, the more advanced pipettes, that may make more of a connection with that name. All right? All right, and that concludes today's lab equipment tour. Any questions, leave comments on the Google Classroom page. Thank you.